According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, 29% of all motor vehicle crashes are caused by distracted drivers, resulting in more than 10,000 fatalities, 1.3 million injuries, and 5.6 million damaged vehicles each year. Those statistics translate to monetary impact of nearly 100 billion annually due to crashes. Despite previous distracted driving awareness campaigns, the data shows 77% of drivers under 40 admit to using their phones while driving. Of those, 87% report that they have seen campaigns on the dangers of distracted driving, yet they still do. Joining us now is John Way, is a director of consumer customer experience research and transportation and building research for State Farm Insurance. And he's going to talk about a new twist in educating about distracted driving besides beating them on the head. Good morning, John. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, James. Great to be with you. Sincerely appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. Now, we know distracted driving is dangerous. Why does it seem like we just can't stop?
It's a great question, James, and it's a hard one to try to answer, and it's even harder to try to combat in real time. And I'll tell you, maybe to give us all some grace, to a degree, it's not our fault. I mean, we are now preconditioned as a society to kind of be always connected and to a degree always distracted. I don't know about you, but it's increasingly easy for me to spend most of my day on my computer doing things for work and then quickly bridging into other digital opportunities at home. And when I'm not doing that, I'm trying to figure out how and where my kids are going to be. When I'm not doing that, I'm trying to figure out what else is on the honey-do list in between all of this when I'm going to have time to get it done. And so point being, James, there are a whole sea of things that seek to distract us on a daily basis and seemingly increasingly so. And unfortunately, those distractions often follow us into the vehicle. And the hard reality is that a distracted driver is a dangerous driver.
What is included under the distracted driving umbrella?
I think it's a great question. I think a lot of us quickly go to the cell phone, and rightly so. I frankly am agitated these days driving down the road and seeing the number of people that are seemingly okay holding their phone right up here and continuing to move down the trail. But it's not just the phone. I think that's an important part of this conversation. Distraction can take the form of carrying your snack into the car with you. A lot of us are trying to eat in between obligations or even deeply engaging in the conversation with your kid in the back seat in a moment of disagreement. There are a whole host of things that can distract us from that driving opportunity. And unfortunately, 8 out of 10 of us admit to driving distractedly and still feeling pretty comfortable doing so.
Now, we talked about some statistics that cover the scope of the collective problem. Are there stats on specific risk?
Yeah, so there are a couple, James, that I think are really resonant that I think about routinely. Think about the number two. And that taking your eyes off the road for 2 seconds to read a text, and 2 seconds only, nearly doubles your risk of getting in an accident. That's really impactful to think about. For sports fans, I find this one even more impactful. So talking about texting again, it's not only a cell phone problem, but certainly cell phones are a major driver of distraction. It takes most of us about 5 seconds to read an average text message. It also takes about 5 seconds to travel the length of a football field at 55 miles an hour. And so if you think about that, if you look down and take your eyes off the road for 5 seconds to figure out what your wife texted you to add to the grocery list, that's like driving down a football field blindfolded. I don't know about you, but that mental image does not set well with me. And I think if we thought about the outcomes of some of our activities, James, behind the wheel, instead of just that feeling the compulsion that I need to get to this thing right now, I think it would help us reframe the need to do some of those things when we're behind the wheel.
So, if the danger of distracted driving won't motivate people to stop, what will?
Well, and that's why I so appreciate your time here this morning, James. We are seeking to talk about this a little bit differently. We know and certainly support hands-off laws that have been put in place in certain jurisdictions. We certainly appreciate the digital billboards that have been placed on interstates to help people understand the need to drive less distractedly. But we're starting to view this and seeking to talk about this more as an opportunity than it is an obligation, an opportunity to disconnect from all the distractions and the noise that surround us during the course of our day and reconnect with ourselves. And really, James, in some ways, start thinking about attentive driving as a wellness opportunity.
That's very interesting. Is there anything else you'd like for us to know?
Yeah, so there's a lot more content available for your viewers out on statefarm.com. Would encourage everybody go to statefarm.com and check out our Simple Insights page for some additional content and tips around distracted driving. But I'll share one personal story or personal example here. I'm a father of two teenagers. Now they're both teenagers, which is a little bit scary for me to think about. And as a father of two teenagers, I am much more cognizant of the daily opportunity to educate them on how to drive and how not to drive. And any time that I'm fumbling around with my phone or playing with the radio, I know they're watching me. They've been watching me since they were knee high to a grasshopper, but now they're watching me trying to learn how they're going to do this in just 2 or 3 years when they get behind the wheel. And so a plea to all parents out there, and in alignment with where we've been talking about this, use that behind the wheel opportunity as an opportunity not only reconnect with yourself, but to demonstrate for your children and role model behaviors. And again, for more on that content and other pieces of distracted driving, go to statefarm.com and look for our Simple Insights page.
Let's speak with John Wade, Director of Customer Experience Research and Transportation and Building Research for State Farm Insurance. You have your two teenagers, boys or girls?
One of each. I was very fortunate to get one of each.
Okay, so your son is definitely watching you because he's got to learn how to handle that honey-do list when he gets older too.
Well, that's exactly right, James. And I'm very cognizant of that too, about how I react to some of the messages coming through on that front. So that's a good observation, sir.
Definitely. John, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.